The Renault ZOE has remained pretty much unchanged, at least in its design, since its original launch back in 2012. Underneath, however, it's undergone a gradual set of changes, adding improved power electronics, more powerful, more efficient motors, and larger capacity, longer range battery packs. The most recent, of course, of these is the new 52 kilowatt-hour battery pack found in the recently announced Renault ZOE 50. We first heard about the new improved ZOE last month, and while we did a video on this channel singing the car's on-paper specs, we didn't know at the time the car's actual pricing. Even without those pricings, however, we noted the car's estimated WLTP test range of 390 kilometres, brand new DC quick charge capability, and vastly improved interior, complete with more conventional trim materials and an all-new infotainment system, made the Renault ZOE 50 a car that we thought would fly off dealer lots. And now we know it will for sure, with the announcement from Renault that the all-new ZOE 50 will retail in Germany from €23,900 without battery included, or €35,990 including battery. Those prices, I should note, also include a 19% sales tax and is before any incentives or discounts. If we deduct the sales tax, it leaves us a pre-incentive pre-tax price of just over €30,000 for the longer range ZOE, including battery purchase. That's a pretty hard price to beat per kilometre. Just a quick note to dispel those who are frustrated right now about the currency I'm using. I'm using euro because that's the pricing for this model and this story, and any financial conversions today that I'm going to burn in would be irrelevant tomorrow because, well, exchange rates. So there is no point in me burning any conversions into this video. The ZOE 50 might be a great deal for those looking for a longer range EV, but actually what I think's more exciting about this German pricing announcement from Renault, something I presume will be followed in other European markets, is what's happening to the entry-level ZOE. When the longest range ZOE you could buy was the Renault ZOE 40, Renault kept the previous capacity ZOE, the original 22 kilowatt-hour ZOE, available to buy as an entry-level model. Sure, it had a range of just 240 kilometres or so on the overly optimistic NEDC test cycle, which translated to about 170 kilometres max in real world, if I'm honest, but it did act as a stepping stone into the electric car world for those who couldn't afford or didn't need a longer range model. With the launch of the Renault ZOE 50, Renault has officially killed that smaller capacity 22 kilowatt-hour model and made the Renault 40 the shortest range ZOE that you can now buy brand new. So far, so good. But usually when battery packs are increased in capacity, especially by as much as 19 kilowatt hours, because the Renault ZOE's 40's actual battery capacity is 41 kilowatt hours, then, well, usually the price increases to boot. As the pricing released in Germany this week shows, that's not the case now. Instead, Renault has kept the entry-level ZOE pricing the same as it was for German customers, €21,900 including taxes but not including battery rental or incentives. But instead of getting a ZOE with a 22 kilowatt-hour battery pack, customers can now get a 41 kilowatt-hour battery pack for the same price. That is a massive range increase and a massive increase in value. Additionally, the price in Germany to buy the battery outright is the same, regardless of the capacity of your car's battery pack. This means the Renault ZOE 40 and the Renault ZOE 50 customers both have the option to buy their car's packs outright for an additional €8,090, including sales tax. What does this all mean? Well, it means you can buy a Renault ZOE outright with a range of just shy of 300 kilometres on the WLTP test cycle, a real-world range will be slightly less, for just under €30,000, including a 19% purchase tax. That's significantly less than an entry-level 40 kilowatt-hour Nissan Leaf, €36,800, and €10,000 or more less than the Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Tesla's price, by the way, does not include taxes or fees. Of course, There are cheaper, more affordable cars in the marketplace, at least if you opt for an internal combustion engine model. And if you don't mind having things like heaters and windows as optional extras, and don't need to go above 80 kilometers per hour or carry much, then the Renault Twizy still is the cheapest Renault EV that you can buy today. But with Renault's now entry-level ZOE 40 packing a massive punch, and the Renault ZOE 50 offering range that's better than much of the competition at the same price, well, it's no longer a case of asking if the new ZOE will sell, but how quickly. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.